fewer barriers, less sand in the gears, fewer impediments to getting the job done. And there is fundamentally a kindness and a respect for Steve and Tony that permeates the entire firm. Now this is a little bit of an aside, and Steve swore me to confidentiality. I gotta tell you anyhow, what's he gonna do, fire me? Every now and then I get a newspaper clipping on my email. It generally concerns some sad person down on his luck, battered by fate. Steve tells me to track the person down and find out where he can reach them. I end up calling the reporter who wrote the article, and some of you are here in the room and you know what I'm talking about. And I find the person. Steve then sends them a check, in some cases a substantial check, anonymously, and I get to play Santa Claus. Steve gets to play Santa Claus, and I get to play the elf. But this kind of kindness permeates Blackstone. And when you make a mistake, you don't get yelled at. When it comes to mistakes, I made some boo-boos in my life. New Year's Eve, 2007. You remember what was going on at the end of 2007. A deal fell apart for reasons that had absolutely nothing to do with Blackstone. I talked to the deal team. We put out a release explaining that this was not our fault. The deal team thought it was really great. They loved me for it. I was a hero. New Year's Day, 2008, it was my mobile rang, and it was Steve. Peter, he said, that was really brilliant tactically. Boys, it was really, really at the nose that you did. Stupid, strategically. He then gave me a master class in thinking around corners and thinking strategically and three-dimensional chess. It was like a PowerPoint coming over the phone. Well, by slide 16, I'd kind of gotten the point that I didn't really need the remaining 27 slides. I had an hour or so. There was no yelling, although when I look back on it, there was a great deal of sarcasm, which I guess is better. And then he hung up and he never mentioned it again. I'll always be grateful for Steve and Tony and indeed for all of Blackstone for the opportunities they gave me. Now when I look around this room, there are really scores of Blackstone people I should acknowledge and thank, but unless you want to see my Fidel Castro imitation, you really don't have time. But there are really, I just want to call out two people here. When I first joined Blackstone, I was a kind of a free molecule, zapping around the firm, and then Tony rang me in and said, you're going to report to Joan Solitaire. Joan not only has an astoundingly high IQ, she has an astoundingly high EQ. Without her mentorship, guidance, and friendship, I would not be where I am today. I will always be grateful that Blackstone is very lucky to have me. And Christine Anderson. Now the business school textbooks tell you always trying to hire someone better than yourself. But in Christine's case, the gap between her and me is the mercy. She is one of the finest professionals I know I've ever worked with. She's a wonderful colleague, and I'm very happy to say she's a very good friend. And finally, it's a great headline, I know. Finally, to the fourth estate and the press here, thank you for coming. I'm going to flatter myself, the open bar was not the only reason. We argued, we've debated, we've had a huge amount of fun together, and many of you, and a lot of you, have become close personal friends. In the end, what pleases me is I have been part, in some small way, of creating some really good journalism, and that is no small thing. Thank you for coming. August.